सर आप लोगों ने कभी थैंक्स गिविंग के बारे में कुछ सुना है?
सर इस बारे में कोई जानकारी नहीं था।
सर जी बार बार आपके ही दोबारा आपकी ज़बान से अल्फाज सुने बार बार कि थैंक्स का जो मतलब होता है वो धन्यवाद होता है, पर आप जो अल्फाज बता रहे हैं पूरा वो इतना बड़ा जो है कि जो श्लोक है वो समझ नहीं आ पा रही है सर क्या चीज़ है।
सर ये चीज तो पहली बार ही सुनने में आई है, नई चीज है।
ठीक है सर, आपको बताना चाहता हूँ थैंक्स गिविंग डे एक नेशनल छुट्टी होती है
जी।
यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स ऑफ अमेरिका और कनाडा में।
अच्छा अच्छा
इसे
अच्छा
24 नवंबर को मनाया जाता है।
अच्छा अच्छा।
और इसके मनाने की वजह होती है वो लोग सेलिब्रेट करते हैं जब फसल काटी जाती
आहा।
है और जो पिछले साल अच्छी अच्छी चीजें हुई हैं, आशीर्वाद मिले हैं, ब्लेसिंग्स मिली हैं। तो सर आज उससे ही जुड़ी हुई एक परेड होती है वहाँ पे, हम उसकी वीडियो आपको दिखा रहे हैं। आप इस वीडियो को देखिए, उसके बाद अपनी प्रतिक्रिया दीजिए।
फसल काटना, फसल वो है ना, ये तो बहुत महत्वपूर्ण बात है। और लोग इस चीज से मौके पर अच्छी खुश मनाते हैं, क्योंकि हमारा भारत देश भी खेत बर्तन देश है। तो हमारे यहाँ भी ये त्योहार जो अलग अलग तरीके से मनाया जाता है, क्योंकि हमारा जो देश खेती प्रधान देश।
सर त्योहार कोई सा भी हो, त्योहार बनाना बहुत मजा आता है। मैं तो सब त्योहार बनाता हूँ।
सर आप उसके अलावा ये बता रहे हो कि परेड है, तो सर जब मैंने परेड वाली वीडियो देखी बहुत मजा आया मेरे को। तो सर आप लगाएं इसको, देर ना करें। प्यारी गाड़ी बनी यार,
मूंगफली सरी की लग रही है यार, पूरी तो आ रही है मेरे को तो यार।
मूंगफली बिल्कुल
उधर से आगे तो छिल दिया और पीछे से छिलका निकाल के खम्मा में उसको।
देखो यार मैं तो सोच रहा था कि खेत खलियान होंगे यार, ये तो शहर में हो रहा है पूरा अफसर।
हाँ यार पूरी फैमिली
खत्म
है,
खेल खिला में खत्म, शहर में फैल गया। देखो बड़े बड़े बिल्डिंग नहीं दिखती तुम्हारी।
अरे पूरी फैमिली और पूरे परिवार के साथ आया यार, ये तो
त्योहार है तो परिवार सब तो आएंगे ना भैया यार।
हाँ यार वही सही बात है।
बहुत बड़ी गिनला इस बार।
हाँ यार।
अच्छा उसमें अरे गैस वाला है यार, गैस वाली गेंद नहीं।
राइन भाई गैस वाली इसलिए वो कि सब लोग पकड़े नहीं तो कि उड़ जाए वो।
हाँ एक जने से नहीं संभल पाई।
हाँ एक जन से
तो
नहीं
इतने लोग
एक बार मैं
बहुत सारे लोग हैं यार और एक जैसे कपड़े पहने सबने।
हाँ पूरी मंडली है उनकी।
भाई जो परेड हो रही है ना यार, जो परेड में इसी कपड़े पहन आएंगे भैया होते हैं।
यार बहुत बड़ी झांकी ला यार,
पूरा ट्रैक्टर में लाते तो कार में ले आया यार। हाँ यार देखो राइन भाई यार,
बहुत बड़ा मंच है यार।
हाँ यार।
अबे ये लकड़ी का बना हो गया ये, देख लो
पीछे टीवी
अरे
बना रखी है।
एलईडी लगी, एलईडी कैमरे। पब्लिक देख रही नहीं कैमरे में।
और दिख रही है भैया, लेकिन अब वो कैमरा है कि एलईडी ये वाला दिख रही भैया यार।
अच्छा झंडा भी था किसी देश का, वो लंबा सा है जोकर।
जोकर आ गया।
लंबा है तो
कुल्फी बांटना है कुल्फी।
एक और आ गया, वो आ गया, दिख रहा बाबू भाई।
एक लंबा हो रहा है।
बच्चे बूढ़े औरतें महिला सभी प्रकार के हैं मुझे उत्सव मनाने, सभी आए हुए हैं। ठंडा मौसम दिख रहा है मुझे। ये दूसरे मोहल्ले का मंच है, ये बैनर बना के लाए।
हाँ प्रचार होगा नहीं उनका,
प्रचार होगा।
प्रचार होगा। पूरी मंडली के कपड़े पहने हुए एक सरी के जोकर आ गए।
हाँ जोकर दिखाना, जोकर आ गया भैया। अच्छा जोकरों को भी अंदर स्थान दिलवाया है।
हाँ
यार मेन मनोरंजन में जोकर ही करता भैया।
हाँ ये बात भी बिल्कुल सही कह रहा हो तुम। स्टार आ गया, स्टार
देख लो। ओहो
क्या सितारा बनाया यार, बहुत बड़ा दिख रहा है।
अब वो पीछे तक पीछे कितना बड़ा
बाप रे,
पूरा क्या चीज है
ये
पूरा हेलीकॉप्टर दिख रहा है तो यार।
और बिल्ली बड़ी है।
हाँ हेलीकॉप्टर पे बिल्ली बैठी है तो यार।
वो खंबे से नहीं टकरा जाए यार, तार वार नहीं टकरा जाए।
यार भैया मैं तो कह रहा हूँ कि इसको फैलाने के लिए 50 टंकी लगी होगी भैया।
हाँ ये बिल्कुल बात सही कह रहा हो तुम यार।
ये कितना बड़ा है यार,
बड़ा है यार बाबू भाई।
अबे तो कुछ लोग पकड़ो दूसरे। ओह
तो पकड़े हुए बहुत सारे जने देखो उड़ जाएंगे।
हाँ
हाँ हवा में
बहुत बड़ा दिख रहा है यार,
बहुत बड़ा दिख रहा है।
वो बहुत बड़ा, काफी तादाद में।
हाँ
50-60 लोग तो पकड़े हुए हैं उसे यार।
एक आगे एक पीछे।
चौड़े और अच्छे बड़े जगह में निकाला उन्होंने उत्सव,
तो फिर
वरना अटक ही जाती बड़ी चीज।
पूरी व्यवस्था करी थी उन्होंने। तो बाबू भाई, अपने वहाँ पे जैसे कोई से त्योहार होते हैं अपने वहाँ, तो अपने वहाँ पे त्योहार में मूंगफली वाले ना पाउच गुटके वाले सब आते हैं कि नहीं? ना पे है कि नहीं ना पर?
अरे यूँ अब क्या है कि आते तो यहाँ पर इतनी भी है ना।
अरे बाबू वो छोड़ो देखो जहाज के जरिए
जहाज बना वो पानी में संदेश।
हाँ यार,
मेरे को लगता है
ये भी ट्रैक्टर के बिना वो उसमें कार में लाया यार, ये तो यार
मेरे को लगता है ये पानी का संदेश चलेगा, पानी बचाओ।
हाँ, पृथ्वी और घास और वो हरियाली। जहाज पे पृथ्वी रख दी उसने, जहाज पे पृथ्वी रख दी उनने और हरियाली कर दी आसपास। अच्छा, संदेश भी देना लगे, हाथ नहीं है।
पानी बचाओ, पानी बचाओ।
नाच रहा है वेट वाला।
ये जो है कि मुझे दिख रहा है कप्तान साहब आए हैं जहाज पे वेट कपड़ों। ये दूसरा मंच आया है।
अबे बंद हो रहा है तो बुरी बात।
बहुत लंबी ला यार ये झांझर।
तो मैं तो इसको
छन छन।
भोपू बोलता हूँ। और बाबू भाई ये क्या होगा तुम्हारे हिसाब से बताओ?
ये ड्रम बोलते हो, ड्रम है, भब्बू है।
अरे बहुत बड़ा बैंड है तो यार।
हाँ देख ले यार,
खूबसूरत महिला जा रही यार।
वो हो
क्या महिला है।
हाँ यार,
वो बहुत बड़ा बैंड है तो यार।
Here we go. Hello. Thank you all. Thanks for clicking on. It is Thursday night, the 22nd day of November, 2022. And Tuesday night, 2 days away from Thursday, Thanksgiving. And hopefully you'll have a blessed Thanksgiving holiday. Let me hop back up here real quick. Howdy, Wendy Spears, GA from CA. Always be kind. Hi, Casey, Sissy. Well, what happened there? Again, if you're just joining us, well, the opening tonight was some people from India who really had no clue what they were seeing. Were watching Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Hi, Cunning Stunt, Toilet Paper, Robot, Incel. All righty. Jungle Jane, Lisa Hurley. This is devastating news. What is devastating news? I have extra turkey if anyone needs some. Thank you. Honestly, don't get summer wrapped up in all this. I'll probably end up playing this several different times tonight, and I wasn't planning on playing it now, but here we go. It seems fitting.
Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in. Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
So, yeah, we do have 1776 news coming up tonight. Don't get Summer involved in I'm sorry, all somehow an old live of Russian. Okay. Oh, all right. Freaked me out there for a minute, Lisa Hurley. Hi, Lisa Hurley. Riddle me this. Hello. If I missed anybody. Tanya Anderson, good evening. Oh, man. Well, Summer can handle herself, and Summer has a lot more support than people might realize, and a lot more connections. And she might not be the person you want to attack. I'm just saying, you shouldn't be attacking anybody. You know, it's Thanksgiving. Time to be grateful. Too much hate. Too much negativity. Hate is a very negative emotion, and don't let it enter you, let alone overtake you. Nocturnal Monkeys, hello. Country Girl, hello. Okay. Hi, Uho. Is that, let me make sure I get that. Is that not an N, it's an H, isn't it? Yes. Okay. Sorry, there's something on my screen. All right. Again, thank you all for tuning in, clicking on, whether you be watching live, whether you be watching on our replay, or whether you be watching on a restream. We do thank you for clicking on. This is where all the cool kids come for the news, with a K in front of it, so it's totally different. We give you the K news with a K in front of it, and everybody else just gives you fake news. So that's why everybody's here. Just letting you all know. Hi, Shannon Leslie. Let's get into what the mainstream media headlines are, as far as what they deem as the most important things we should be talking about. We'll give it a glance. And CNN, previous charges, an assault-style rifle, and a red flag law. More questions. That's about the Colorado shooting, and we'll have a little bit more on that coming up in our Twitter bookmark scroll. AP News, that is Associated Press, not our anarchy, not the Anarchy Princess. Supreme Court okays handover of Trump tax returns to Congress. We'll touch on that a little bit more as well. New York Times, Biden administration extends pause on student loan payments. Huge age gap shows up in the AARP poll of Warnock Walker runoff. I thought that was funny that the AARP is conducting a poll, and I don't know if they're just polling their people. If they're just polling their people and there's a huge age gap, that is newsworthy. Politico, playbook for McCarthy. He's got math problems, and they just get tougher as the Republicans are very fractured. Boston, driver pleads not guilty in deadly Hingham Apple store crash. The guy crashed into an Apple store, and I think he killed, I think 2 were dead, and 20 or 21 were injured. And he deems it an accident and has pleaded not guilty. Now, hop over here and see if anybody new's in here. No hate, okay? No hate. There's no hate in the chat, in your life. Life's too short. Enjoy these days. No hate, no threats, no doxing. It's not that hard, you know. It's not like I'm giving you 10 commandments to abide by. I'm just giving you 3. Let's start out with 3. All right? No hate, no threats, no doxing. This is a story you might not have heard about before. This is a story of a championship wrestler, a professional wrestler, and they developed the character, the progressive liberal, to be the bad guy at matches, and then that was back in 2017, and since then things have turned a little dark.
This is politics in America right now.
Baby killer!
Channeled through a pro wrestling ring.
I just criticize their way of life and tell them how they need to follow a real man like myself or my hero Joseph R. Biden.
The progressive liberal Dan Richards is a wrestler who fans in Appalachia love to hate.
When I grab a hold of him and I look in the crowd and say, hit him in the mouth, and they all come to their feet, yes, I hit him in the mouth. And they go, he did that for us.
Dan and his mentor Bo James came up with the gimmick when Trump was first running for president.
I said, my God, if we had a guy that was the anti-Trump and we could send him to the ring in these towns, how much heat would we get?
They want to see you get your ass kicked. That's the heat you want.
It's the greatest feeling in the world. It's a high.
Now that politics has gotten so intense, it's getting too real for Dan.
The response to me and people who think like me are more violent.
Dan really is liberal. I first interviewed him in 2017, which now, bizarrely, feels like a more innocent time.
So in 2017, you wore like an all-over print Hillary shirt. It was very Hillary-focused. Like, what pieces of current events do you pull from to sort of trigger people?
Well, I've got a Biden collage shirt and one of Kamala Harris. The Biden one triggers more people than anything because I don't think half these people even know who Kamala Harris is.
Dan says he gets more heat now than when Trump was in office. He thinks fans feel like they got their hero taken away.
There's so many people that think an election was stolen. I sell realism and emotions. It gets an emotion out of people. So whatever the headlines are of that week, that's what we're going to use.
But do you ever talk about the election being stolen?
Yeah. If Dan wins by cheating, then his opponent can go to the microphone, and like I do, and I say, a lot of these good people here tonight think you stole that just like an election was stole. The building goes nuts.
They usually wrestle in Appalachian counties. Some went for Trump by more than 80%.
It's a small mountain town. Poor county, poor community, no hope. He represents to them everything that's put them in that position.
And do you think it's changed in the last 5 years? How intense it is?
Yeah, it's more dangerous.
The moment I realized things had changed, I think, is when I had rocks thrown at me and someone tried to light me on fire and someone pull a knife on me.
So recently?
Yeah, I mean, that was a month ago.
People are even more frustrated. They're even more divided. So now here's this guy in our town saying this stuff that we see on television that we don't agree with. So we can't get those people. We can't get the politicians. Let's get him.
They'd advertised Dan would be wrestling Bo in Stickleyville, Virginia, a community of about 330 people. Fans came ready to boo Dan.
We all have our own opinion, but his, especially in this area, is a lot different, and everybody wants to punch him in the face.
We love wrestling, first of all, but to come and show the liberal, like, hey, we know what we stand for.
Yeah.
And definitely not the left side.
So, do you want to see him get beat up?
Yes.
Do you want Trump to run again?
Amen.
You do?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay.
Corey Smith wrestles as White Trash Millionaire. He doesn't like Dan's politics, but he's off the Trump train.
I don't see how things could get any worse. But with Trump, we would find out.
You think so?
I believe so, yeah. When you stop putting America first, start putting yourself and what you want to do first. I'm jumping off any train.
You got to tell me when that moment was.
Twitter. If I'm at my job and I'm constantly tweeting, I'm getting fired. I want somebody that leads this country by actions, not by words.
The crowd was loud for other matches, but when Dan walked out, it was next level. Then he got out of the ring and riled them up more. A guy looked ready to fight Dan. Some fans fought each other. Bo cut the match short. Backstage, they said the crowd got too hot too fast.
We felt it coming. We pushed it too far.
It's a different kind of hate now, and it's at a level that I haven't experienced previously. So anyone who doesn't think it's getting more violent and on what side it's coming from needs to have a reality check.
You have to know how to let it breathe. You have to know how to hear it, feel it, live it. You can be great and do all the athletic moves, all the stuff. If you don't know your audience, it doesn't matter.
Again, that was a CNN piece there, and just to give you something to think about. That's why I played that. Plus, there were a couple of things in there that I think are incredibly relevant. Talking about triggering, intentionally triggering. Talking about if you don't have access to the people you're mad at, you take it out on the closest thing to that. And in my opinion, a couple of very dangerous realities that I believe that video kind of reinforced, sadly. Hi, Tupelo. That was that we watched a piece from CNN about a wrestler that goes by the stage name the Liberal Progressive. So and how it's just getting more and more violent, and how it got more violent after Trump wasn't in office, and anything for a gimmick. Yeah, and that, you know, that's kind of what wrestling is. But at the same time, if you're, you know, if your gimmick is one that's going to get you killed, is it worth it? Hi, She-Hawk. Hi, Katrina. Game Dev. Anybody I missed? Yeah, we're just we're showing you things, just giving you some things to think about. News that doesn't that either doesn't get enough attention or is not getting any attention at all. And we've got another such story coming up right now. Again, this is what we do. We give you things to think about. Yes, we're going to be talking about the 1776 and opposition coming up, because just when you think you're out, they pull you back in.
They are powerful and dangerous semi-automatic guns turned into machine guns.
One pull of a trigger will allow it to essentially empty the whole magazine, the whole clip, in a matter of seconds.
The Dallas ATF says they recently arrested Xavier Watson for manufacturing thousands of machine gun converter kits known on the streets as Glock switches.
He had approximately 80 of those conversion devices at his residence, but also he had 2 3D printers that are actually in the process of making approximately another 50 more, in addition to several firearms and those things at his residence.
A Glock switch is a little plastic device that is placed on the back of a semi-automatic weapon, typically a Glock. They can be made with a 3D printer and sold for about $100 a piece, and there are thousands on the streets.
It's not a coincidence that some of the shooting scenes that we see now, there's more shots are fired and more cartridge cases on the crime scene, as kind of a, you know, evidence of these devices and these machine guns that are being put out on our streets.
In this most recent case, the ATF says Watson was the main manufacturer who was distributing the devices to gangs in Fort Worth and shipping thousands of the devices across the country in children's toys.
Hiding them in Mr. Potato Head toys. So mixed in with, you know, the mustache and the eyes for Mr. Potato Head is a machine gun conversion device, just plastic parts, metal parts, that most people probably wouldn't recognize unless they knew what they were looking for.
The ATF says these devices on the streets pose a threat to the public and law enforcement who may not recognize them when they see them.
It's scary and makes the violent crime that much worse.
It's illegal, and someone could get up to 10 years in a federal prison for even having one in their possession. The ATF says they are really working hard to track down the manufacturers in hopes of cutting off the supply chain. In Louisville, I'm Rebecca Lopez.
Again, as we always do, just giving you something to think about. How incredibly simple it is to convert a semi-automatic into an automatic. How many of them are out there? And again, it's a crazy world. We got enough hate. Let's quit generating it. Because, yeah, is 10 years enough for having something like that? Just having that in your possession, knowing that you're only going to use it for a really nefarious purpose, more than likely. I don't know. Again, we're just giving you things to think about, things to make you think and to promote conversations. Okay, alrighty. I'm guessing something's going on in the chat from Casey's message here. Happy Thanksgiving to you as well. Rum Rose, I got a gun to protect my home. Who needs more than 6 rounds unless you are in the military? It is scary. I think mine holds 8. I think 9 with 1 in the chamber. Jungle Jane, thank you for being here. All of you, thank you for being here. We'll get to this 1776 stuff in just a second. I found this online as well, and found it really interesting.
Psychological facts about human behavior.
Okay, first of all, more than likely this is AI, artificial intelligence.
When you are ignored by someone you strongly care about, the reaction in your brain is similar to physical pain. Your favorite song is probably your favorite because you associate it with an emotional event in your life. 68% of the people suffer from phantom vibration syndrome, the feeling that one's phone is vibrating when it's not.
Okay, if anybody in the chat currently, if you suffer from that, would you let me know?
When someone misses you 80% of the time, they are likely to appear in your dream.
Wait a minute. When someone misses you 80% of the time, they are likely to appear in your dream? That's implying some kind of deeper connection. I can understand if you miss somebody and they appear in your dream because you were thinking about them, but somebody missing you impacting your dreams, that's
Study shows that people who walk fast tend to be the type of people that are intense and easily get unhappy. Human behavioral studies suggest that a person who loses their cell phone experiences a panic similar to a near-death experience.
I'm just going to pause it here for a second. And maybe we will have a better... I'm hoping I can do this without breaking up. I'll just say, give me back my phone. Okay. And maybe now we understand why why such a reaction came to exist. He was panicked, similar. He was close to near death. Some people experience that. Again, if you're in the chat, because I'd like to know about this too. When you lose your cell phone, does it feel like near death? Somebody is texting me right now.
People tend to prefer the music of artists whose public personalities are similar to their own.
Okay. I don't know if that's true either, but really I wanted just to get to the place where they were talking about the impact of losing your phone. So let me hop back over to the chat real quick. Again, if you're just joining us, thank you very much for clicking on. It is Late Night America on the American Doofus channel. Hot Mess Summer is in here. I see somebody saying hi to her. Hi, Summer. Ruth Sanders. Patricia, how are you? Thank you all for being here. I greatly appreciate it. I hate phones. I don't have one. My past loved ones visit me all the time. Yeah, I've had dreams. I've had dreams about loved ones that have passed away, and have that on a, not a nightly basis or anything like that. But it's not, it's not out of the ordinary at all. Especially my dad and my sister. How do we dream about humans we never knew or know? And me to you. Good question. I hadn't really ever thought about that before. That gives me something to think about. Thank you very much. Hot Mess Summer. Yeah, they're trying to get you involved in all this and try not to. And I'm sorry because you've come on here with me in the past, and I love having you on. We're going to keep having you on regardless of what happens, but you're very fortunate to have visits. Thank you, She-Hawk. I kind of feel that way. I've had some dreams that have come true too, Walter. Telescope and I talked about this one night, one really late night, behind the mirror. But yeah, and they're not like, one night I tried to dream of who was going to win a NASCAR race, all right? And I quit watching NASCAR when Tony Stewart hit the guy and killed him in the midget thing. But I intentionally laid down and tried to picture who was going to win the upcoming NASCAR race, and I was going to play that in either DraftKings or FanDuel or anyway, one of the legitimate places where I could have done that. And in a dream, I saw 3 numbers, and I played those 3 numbers, and all 3 numbers came in. I never tried to do that again, but most of the things are really mundane that I dream about and come true. And when I say, oh my gosh, I knew that was going to happen, I dreamed it, I had a dream about it 6 months ago, the exact same thing. And it's like, oh, that's just deja vu. That's, or some say that's a glitch in the matrix. Okay. All right. I don't know what's going on in chat. I'm gonna leave it all up to you. What? Oh, trucker girl. No, her sister's husband. Okay, so her brother-in-law died tonight on her birthday. Oh man. Yes. Trucker Girl, if you happen to see this, I don't know if you're a praying person, a spiritual person or not, but with all positive intent, blessings upon you, tenderest of mercies upon you and your family in this time of loss. And it's a good day to go home. It's a good day to go home. Okay. All right. Anyway, I'm sorry, just glancing. Yeah. Summer, don't get Summer involved in all this. You really, number one, Summer's real, and Summer has connections. And if something happens to Summer, anyway, don't get Summer involved in all this. Summer's got enough stuff going on in without all this, in my opinion. Now, Summer can handle herself. So, with that being said, let's get back to the next story that I wanted to share. And then we'll get to the Twitter bookmarks. Because it's odd that this came up in chat to talk about the dreams and things like that. Let's see if anybody has anything. Oh, crap. Hang on. Let me get rid of the ad. And, okay, let me get rid of the second ad. How many ads does this have? The story we're about to see is about a 7-year-old. That says he was in a plane crash. That basically he was killed in 9/11, and I'm not sure why. I'm not sure why it's not coming up. Here we go. All right. Thanks for hanging with me through all this. This is live. Let me get him back up there. Again, as always, just giving you something to think about. Some deep stuff tonight. Or is it? It all depends on how you look at things. Hop back over here to the chat for a very quick, brief moment. Easily distracted, hello. Walter, that as I'm watching that, Walter asked the question, what else would make a child behave like this unless manipulated by parents? That popped into my head. She was not supposed to have kids. This kid has to be, this kid is special. There, is she pushing this somehow? Because if that is not the case, the only other explanation apparently to me would be past life. And again, we don't tell you what to think or how to think on here, or at least we try to avoid that. There's sometimes it's like I do tell you, hey, here's what I think, but it's you make your own conclusion. I hadn't heard that story before either. Okay. anything is possible. Yeah, we don't really know. We don't use, most of us don't use a whole lot of our brains. And here lately, I'm wondering how many people don't use any of their brains. I'm sorry. But you know what I'm saying. All right, let's get to the bookmarks. Twitter bookmarks. Yes, Twitter is still here. That is relatively big news because a lot of people were saying Twitter was not going to last. It is still here. Let's see if it stays that way. CNN officially announces Christmas is not canceled. The reason for this, retailers are sounding the alarm about the danger of a national rail strike, while simultaneously stressing potential work stoppage won't ruin this holiday season. I guess two things can be true at the same time, but the supply chain gets disrupted, and it's not only in the U.S. The U.K.'s threatening the same thing as well. I wondered how. Of course, I've heard from some, but I wondered how people in the black community were reacting to the Herschel Walker because there more accusations have come out, and I'm curious as to how this particular tweet is, whether it is representative or whether it is just one person's opinion. The GOP's support for Herschel Walker's candidacy is designed as a continual insult and assault on all who strive to be black and excellent, or hell, just black and decent. Again, as always, just giving you something to think about. And both candidates are black, so this isn't going to be something where race is a deciding factor. Chrisley Knows Best stars Todd and Julie Chrisley are headed to prison. Todd got 12 years and Julie got 7 years, and it's for fraud and tax evasion. Similar charges to what the former president of the United States is facing. And I don't watch that. I don't, I know who they are because because I know who they are, but I have no idea how they got their money, why anybody should care. But nonetheless, they are going to prison. Mercedes says drivers must pay an annual fee to unlock the car's best performance. So it's not enough to buy a brand new car for probably $85,000 to $125,000. You have to pay an annual fee. I guess if you're a car maker, that's one way to continue to make money off of your sales. The BBC has published footage of the Nord Stream pipeline, and it is visibly, it is completely broken, as you will be able to see as we get up to it right there. So gas has basically been streaming out into the ocean as they try to get everything shut off and taken care of. It's odd that the BBC published this footage, as Russia has accused Great Britain of being the ones that conducted the sabotage. U.S. State Department urges all parties to de-escalate the situation in Syria and Iraq. Any military action in northern Syria will threaten the mission to defeat ISIS, says the Pentagon. It's getting ready to heat up in the Middle East in a big, big way. I'm just going to say that, and we will see if it proves to be correct or not. Oklahoma authorities are searching for a killer after deputies responded to a call about a hostage situation. When they did respond, they found 4 people dead and another injured at an apparent marijuana farm. Again, that is in Oklahoma, and that was about 9 hours ago that came out. UK rail workers to strike before and after Christmas. So again, as I mentioned earlier, it's not just rail strikes in the United States, but anywhere there's a potential disruption to an already weakened supply chain, it could lead to a breakdown. This is according to Newsweek. Frank Luntz, a Republican pollster, asked voters to describe the former president. Respondents associated Trump with words like narcissist and unsettling. Now remember, those of you that are Trump supporters, those of you that are Trump fans, I told you the day after the election that you're not going to like what's going to be happening to Trump. The Republicans got what they wanted out of Trump, and that was for you to vote. And you to vote for, they just wanted you to vote. And if you voted for who he told you to vote for, okay. If you didn't, okay, just go vote. And now that you have done that, they don't need you anymore, and they sure don't need him anymore. So look for a lot more attacks coming. Look for the Supreme Court not to be backing him up as much as they were prior to the midterms. It's all politics. It's all political theater, and he is now going to be a pariah to the Republican Party. It's just a matter of how it plays out. I'm just calling it like I see it. All right. We'll see if I'm right or not. Alex Jones, the InfoWars host and founder, was ordered by a Texas judge to pay the full $49 million award to the parents of a Sandy Hook victim. Herschel Walker's high school football coach is asking all Georgia voters to vote for Warnock. Second woman has claimed Herschel Walker pressured her to have an abortion. Will hold a press conference and claims she has an audio recording. That press conference has probably already happened, but that's not going to change a whole lot. Tulsi Gabbard, long known for her pushing of conspiracies and Russian talking points, briefs special ops students on the role of PSYOPs, leadership, and disinformation. And this was all in a guest lecture at the Army's Special Ops College. So, interesting choices by Ms. Tulsi Gabbard. Canada probes reports of Chinese police service stations in Toronto. And Toronto is awfully close to American border, just saying. The war on women is a war on us all. Upcoming protest November 25th, Friday at 12:30, December 1st, Thursday at 2 p.m. Those are in Seattle, but don't be surprised if it doesn't become national, because women are still, rightly so, filled with some righteous indignation. If you get tired, learn to rest, not quit. It's our inspirational quote of the day. Something to think about. You get tired, learn to rest. Don't quit. Current law in Florida requires elected officials to resign if they plan to run for another office, such as president. Well, that's inconvenient for Ron DeSantis and for Marco Rubio. So, you know what? Should probably change that law. Florida Republicans changing the law to make it easier for DeSantis to run. Indiana Republicans did the same thing to allow Richard Lugar to run back in the 1900s, and then they turned on him and voted him out of the Senate. Kanye exclusive, this is Rolling Stone reporting this. Kanye West used porn, bullying, and mind games to control his staff. Former Yeezy and Adidas staffers and creative collaborators allege. Kanye allegedly showed an explicit video and photos of Kim Kardashian to members of the Yeezy creative team. So, porn, bullying, and mind games. So I don't know if showing them pictures of Kim Kardashian, if she was naked and that's considered porn, or if showing them her picture was mind control. But you're going to find this too. They're really going to paint Kanye West as a really bad guy. He may be that, but you're going to see a major hammering coming down upon him, just like you're going to see coming down on Trump. Just watch. During a 2017 meeting in a factory sample room in China, Kanye West yelled that the Yeezys prototypes weren't up to his standards. He then allegedly approached a senior female employee and told her, quote, "I want you to make me a shoe I can F." So, again, I don't know if that's bullying. I don't know if that's porn. I don't know if that's mind games. I don't know if that's just Kanye being Kanye, But it gives us something to think about. U.S. Supreme Court has cleared the release of Donald Trump's tax returns to a House of Representatives committee, handing a defeat to the Republican former president, who had called the Democrat-led panel's request politically motivated. The request was politically motivated, and the Supreme Court's action is politically motivated as well. The Supreme Court could have held this case back and not released this finding until there was a Republican-dominated Congress, even though the domination is by a very small number. But instead, they released this now, right before Thanksgiving, when there is still a Democratic-controlled Congress who can hammer Donald Trump. And that's how politics works. Yep, we got what we wanted out of him, which was all of you that support him to go vote, those of you that did. Now we don't need him anymore, because 2 years from now, we're going to make you love DeSantis or Rubio or Farmer Ted Cruz. Turkish President Erdogan announced today that the Turkish forces will soon begin a large-scale ground operation in Syria. According to Erdogan, the operation will include tanks, infantry supported by Turkish air assets, who are already striking targets inside of Syria. Okay, so we now know who the United States was warning to be very, very careful in Syria. They're talking about Turkey, supposedly one of our allies. And this is not the Turkey that we talk about on Thanksgiving normally. Okay, this is a potential hot button. And as I said, I'm going to be keeping an eye on what's going on the Middle East, because things are about to ratchet up. This is Carrot. Carrot is a 67-pound goldfish that was caught recently. And I'd never really seen anything like that, so I thought, well, you know what? I bet people that watch hadn't seen anything like that either. So let's put it out there. 67-pound goldfish caught in France. So I guess somebody tossed a fish out of a koi pond into a body of water, and this is the result. 67-pound goldfish. I didn't bother to Google it or anything. I don't know if that's a world record or not, but it's a crap ton of goldfish. I'm going to play this real quick. This is from Reuters, and this is one of the two men that basically kept...
That time, everybody in that room.
That basically kept the Colorado shooting from being more reminiscent of what happened in Orlando, because this got stopped fairly shortly after it began.
I just know I got into mode, and I needed to save my family. And that family was, at that time, everybody in that room. And that's what I was trained to do. I saw him and I went and got him.
Thinking his combat days were behind him, Richard Fierro had taken his family to a Colorado LGBTQ club on Saturday night. The decorated Iraq and Afghanistan veteran said he was having a good time in Club Q when he heard gunfire. That's when Fierro says he sprung into action. 5 people were killed, including the boyfriend of Fierro's daughter, identified by Colorado Springs police as Raymond Green Vance, when a gunman opened fire. And at least another 17 were wounded. But the bloodshed could have been much worse. In a news conference on Monday night, Colorado Springs Mayor John Suthers said that's thanks to Fierro and another man, Thomas James, who had rushed the shooter. Fierro said he grabbed the suspect by the armor the gunman was wearing and used the shooter's pistol to beat him.
And I pulled him down. The young man that was late, he was hiding there, had jumped up with me. I don't know if he helped pull me, hold him down or not. I have no idea. Okay, that guy did the same act. Amazing. Pull the dude down, pin him against the side, and just started. Oh, I think he went for his pistol. I don't know. Either way, I grabbed the pistol from him. And then I told the guy, move the AR, the kid in front of me. He was at his head. I said, move the AR, get the AR away from him. And the kid did it. And then I started wailing on this dude.
Fierro added that a drag performer had also stomped on the attacker with high heels. Officials did not elaborate on the men's actions, and Fierro's comments provided details investigators have not spoken about. Fierro said he was detained for about an hour by police, who found him with a pistol in his hand in the confused aftermath of the shooting. The suspect, Anderson Lee Aldrich, was known to law enforcement. Police say they have yet to determine a motive for the attack, but the city's mayor and LGBTQ rights groups said the attack bore the hallmarks of a hate crime. The 22-year-old remained under arrest at a hospital, presumably for injuries sustained when Fierro pummeled him in an effort to stop the assault. However, Fierro insists he is no hero.
I try to save people, and it didn't work for 5. Okay? There's 5 people that aren't home right now. I just...
Oh. I'm going to go back to the bookmarks real quick because there's another story coming up that directly links to this. It's not this story, but this, never forget, it was 59 years ago today. John F. Kennedy was assassinated, President of the United States. A brief video of the latest COVID detention camp that China has built. Give you something to think about. Bipartisan group of U.S. senators urges the administration to provide Ukraine with armed Gray Eagle drones, saying the technology could help Kyiv to hold its territory and gain battlefield momentum. I don't necessarily know that sending such equipment and jeopardizing that technology, I don't know. That's not my decision to make. Just something to think about. Drought in Hawaii is fueling a rare November wildfire concerns. And this is that story that I said was related. One day removed from a shooting at an LGBTQ club where 5 people are dead, Tucker's first segment is him saying the LGBTQ cult is sexualizing children. I'm not going to play the video of this. This is from literally 1 minute ago. He'd been working with right-wing media to carefully create a narrative that equates LGBTQ. Whoops. Too far. Okay, there we go. Create a narrative that equates LGBTQ people with pedophilia. It's dangerous, cruel, and completely on purpose. He did the same thing tonight. Just so you know that if you're a member of that community, you could be a target at any time. Of course, you know that already, but things are more intense. We've seen it literally play out. We've heard a professional wrestler tell us that. We've seen it in the stories tonight. There's enough hate. And all of you that are not into hate, all of you that are a light in a very dark world, we need you. So always have your heads on a swivel no matter where you're at, what you're doing, because you never know when somebody's going to come up with one of those guns we shown that just rapidly can be changed from a semi-automatic to an automatic, and even more dangerous weapons, and they only need to be in the hands of those that know what they're doing, in my opinion. After the GOP won a House of Representatives majority, could the work of the January 6th committee be shifted over to the Senate, where Democrats still have a majority? You shouldn't be able to do that, but don't be surprised if you don't see that happen. Which states have the least and most crime? And by percentage, the most crime is in North Dakota. The least crime is in Iowa. So okay. This is from the Daily Beast. The rage-induced violence began when 30-year-old Connor Anderson, donning an NRA t-shirt with an American flag on it, couldn't find his car keys. This happened about 10 hours ago. It happened actually last night, but the report came out about 10 hours ago. Hold on a second, I get something up here. There we go. Fired shots inside a Florida bar and held his date at gunpoint because he couldn't find his keys. Again, just a reminder of the intensity of our times. I showed this in our last episode, and I just wanted to give it one last final play because I just thought it was just too much, and plus got a pretty deep and pretty dark set of stories here. So puppy goes outside, looks around, says, no, maybe not, but I really do got to pee. So wow, disappears, thankfully comes back. I had some people comment and email me and that, hey, I'd had to go out there and dig my dog out. My dog would have disappeared in there and never come back out. Couple of more quick stories here. Chancellor Olaf Scholz said Germany should be ready for an escalation of the situation in Ukraine, and it can consist in the destruction of infrastructure. So a lot of potential negative stuff going on. Don't generate any more of it than is already out there, please. Try to be a positive. Try to be a light. He had the keys in his pocket. Yes, Fernando, thank you. I read the story and I forgot to add that part. The guy had the keys in his pocket. So the craziness and the fact that 1776 Restoration Movement and the opposition
Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
Yeah.
Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
How many times have we thought this was over just to be pulled back in? Well, yesterday, news from the 1776 Restoration Movement and opposition front. Lori Arnold had all of her protective orders or restraining orders. I'm not technically sure which one they were. All of them in West Virginia were dropped, for those that don't know that yet. And Defender of Ants had one left, and that one is still in effect. So Lori still has protective orders or restraining orders in Indiana, in 2 counties here in Indiana to deal with, but all of those were dropped, and Lori showed up with Lori and Ant and AP. The band is back together, even if it's just for a limited run. All 3 of them were at a J6 protest tonight. I was just informed, and we'll have coverage of that coming up in our next episode. I'm not going to take the time to find it here tonight, but that happened, and I totally trust the source that told me it happened, and we will be watching it. Pluck, AP, Ant, and Lori, all of them back together, and ironically, they're back together because of things that the 1776 Restoration Movement did to draw them back together. Was that intentional to keep things going? I don't know. If all you have, and I'm not saying this, I'm hypothetically, if all you have is hate and threats, you've got to have somebody to hate and to direct those threats to. So you can't have one without the other. All right? 1776 is not going to exist as they are at the moment without somebody to direct all of their angst against. And as long as they keep doing some of the things they're doing to the opposition is going to keep coming back, and it's going to keep growing, or at least that's how things normally play out. We'll see how it goes. And I will be on tomorrow night. I'm going to be on tomorrow night, the night before Thanksgiving, and we'll see if Lori or DOA or AP or Pluck or all of them want to come on and talk tomorrow night about everything that has been happening. And again, Cunning Stunt says 1776 lied again. So I'm not sure what that's about. Ooh. Summer, they don't know who you are. They really do not know who you are. They're looking at your profile pic and assuming they don't know who you are. But Faye Allen says Lori, Ant, and AP need to get a life. Okay. I don't know if they're going to be staying in Washington, D.C. area all the way through Thanksgiving or not. I really have no idea what their plans were or are, nor should I. And as, yeah, they are about to find out. People are, some people find it easier to condemn the truth instead of admitting they are wrong, especially when it comes to support of other people. Okay? And I think a lot of people, just like the clip we shown about the championship wrestler, the one guy said, these people have been told over and over and over again by Trump that nobody cares about them except him. And they haven't figured out he really doesn't care about them. He wouldn't let one of them in the gate to his property if they showed up. But at the same point, instead of being able to admit that to themselves, it's easier to just say whatever. So it's a problem. It's a problem that has caused a divide, and a divide that has been and continues to fester and widen. And all we got to, we can't just sit back and pretend like it's not happening. The absolute least we can do is talk about it, be aware of it, and try to come up with ways to combat it peacefully. I know those words generally don't go together, combat and peacefully, but you can fight something peacefully. Multiple people killed in shooting at a Virginia Walmart. Jeez. And I was just about, I was going to talk about that I'm going to be on tomorrow night. We'll see if we have some guests on. There's going to be a lot to talk about. And one thing, the commercialization of our holidays. Thanksgiving isn't the focus now. The focus is Black Friday, Small Business Saturday, Cyber Monday. The focus is consumerism. It's buy. It's grab, get, have. And it's not healthy for our society. began the show with a clip of 3 men in India, the country of India, that are villagers and tribalists and had never seen a Thanksgiving parade, and how they assumed that because, that we were obviously promoting saving water, when that was absolutely nothing to do with the commercialization of that float. It was about traveling the world, spending on cruises. Just reminds us that the real meaning of Thanksgiving is being thankful that there was enough food to survive. That's how it all started. And we might be getting really close to a condition where it's already happening in a lot of places, but here in the United States, we've always been the land of plenty. Well, a lot of people have food insecurity already in the United States, and I'm deeply concerned that it's going to get worse, and that people aren't going to care, and that's sad. Okay. Tribal people react clip was real cool. Thank you, Just Joan. Yeah, I like to do stuff like that every once in a while, especially at the beginning while people are coming in, just to kind of get people started thinking, give a different perspective to things. Sherry Beeman, no, you're not timed out. I see you. Hello. Hellraiser, how are you? Eagle Milk. Robert Escobar's show. People only care when it affects them. Some people do, yeah. Yeah, some people only care when it affects them. Guy Bassett says, today I worked at the food bank. We gave away the food for Thanksgiving and a turkey. This year we ran out of turkeys. I didn't even get one this time. This is the first time this has happened. A lot of people are in need. CNN had a story today that I forgot to pull up. I wanted to use, that it is cheaper to go out to a restaurant for Thanksgiving dinner for the first time. It's cheaper to go to a restaurant for Thanksgiving dinner than it is to cook it yourself at home, because all of the staples, all the supplies that you get at your grocery stores have gone up so much more than the costs have gone up at restaurants. And it's always just something to think about. Unpopular opinion, but I don't care for turkey. I prefer chicken. That's Max Flower. Nothing wrong with that. Sherry Beeman, can you please read my up comment? Sure, we'll do that before I close out here, Sherry. Oh, it must be timed out. I read that. You have a comment up above that, I'm assuming. But I'm not seeing it. Hello, Mo. DC Hillbilly, hello. Sherry Beeman, Faye Allen, yes, I agree, they are sick people. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure what I'm going to do for Thanksgiving yet, but okay. Sherry just wants to be recognized. Okay, well, hi Sherry. Thank you for clicking on and for being on here. Thank all of you for that. Thank all of you for being on here again. Whether you're watching live, whether you're in the chat, if you watch live and you're not in the chat, everybody says, "Oh, you're lurking." I don't consider that lurking personally, because there's a lot of times I'll watch things and not be involved in the chat, and it's not for any kind of nefarious purpose. So, anyone ever have a turducken? A chicken inside a duck, inside a turkey? I didn't see it, Sherry Beeman. I'm sorry. Thank you all. I truly enjoy having these shows where it's just us. I really like having guests on, but I like being able to have enough time to get over in the chat and react with people. I'll be back tomorrow night at 11 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 p.m. Central, 9 Mountain, and 8 Pacific. And we'll do this all again. And I'm going to let you decide tomorrow night. I'm going to leave it up to the chat tomorrow night, whether we have a Thanksgiving show Thursday night or not. We will be on tomorrow night, again, starting at 11 p.m. Eastern. It is Late Night America. It's on the American Doofus channel. And again, I greatly appreciate you clicking on. If you're a fellow believer in the Lord Jesus Christ, the Son of God, blessings upon you in the name of the Most High, Christ Jesus the Son, with the power of the Holy Spirit. If you're not, namaste, shalom, salam, assalamu alaikum. Blessings be upon you and yours. Peace, positive vibrations, most of all, love. Love, 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 love. Love conquers hate. And all you need is love. John Lennon said that. Smart man. Okay, what I just did there was a quote from a movie, Independence Day. The father of Jeff Goldblum in that movie. So we're coming up on when John Lennon was assassinated. And we're going to do something about that because he's a controversial figure. And we're going to touch on that as it's coming up. Again, thank you all for being here. It is a very dark world. Try to be a light. I love y'all. We'll see you tomorrow night, 11 p.m. Eastern, 10 Central, 9 Mountain, 8 Pacific. We'll do another edition of Late Night America on the American Doofus channel. Until then, peace. Love y'all.